Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Afro Political Consultant and Communications, as you know. Afro Political Consulting and Communication Strategist. We are leaders. You can't lie to me. Yasin, as you know, Yasin Chiaga, the Managing Director, Operator, CEO, Yasin. Our objective is always to give you the truth about the global. We think and we change the world. Canada, America, everywhere. We need a stable government everywhere. Like you see here in Canada at my headquarters. My headquarters, they are in Canada, North America. The reason why I'm in Canada, North America, is because I can see the whole world. What is in Rwanda, Uganda, Cape Town, Egypt, everywhere. I'm the top. This is the last destination to heaven. So, from here to God, very close, North America, to God. So, today we are not going to spend a long time. We have come here to talk about what? We are going to talk about a Rwandan biggest political party, the biggest Rwandan political party. I repeat this. We are going to talk about Rwanda's biggest political party. I have said the biggest, not the middle, not the small. Which is this party? This is Rwanda National Congress. There is similarities. This party has a similar, a twin or a sister party. Who can tell us? Yeah. Kagame, President Kagame. I think you can tell us which party in the world similar to Rwanda National Congress. Tell us, President Kagame. Which party in this world similar to Rwanda's National Congress Party? This question, President Kagame failed. The question goes to Louis Muskwabo, Minister of Foreign Affairs. I think she knows this one. She might know the answer. Louis Muskwabo, tell us the answer. Which party in the world similar to Rwanda National Congress Party? What? South African National Congress? Thank you, Louis Muskwabo. She's the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Rwanda. She has told us that the only party in the world which is similar to Rwanda National Congress, it is South African National Congress. Another question, Louis Muskwabo. Why these parties are similar? Because they are the only party which believe in democracy, freedom, liberty, and human rights in Africa. Thank you very much. Which party? Why these parties again are similar? Tell us another answer. Because Nyamwasha, Kayumba Nyamwasha, and Patrick Karegeya are the same people with Nelson Mandela. That's why it is called the Rwanda National Congress. Rwanda National Congress, the party which came to power, which came to transformation Rwanda. The president, as I will say, General Kayumba Nyamwasha, he is well known, famous guy. He's been a Rwandan military commander, the Rwandan diplomat, like Maichivari, yeah. So he knows everything. And as you know that in politics, we always use the masters who know the sea, the islands, who are well educated, trained to become political leaders. So Kayumba Nyamwasha is a very good guy for this position. I recommend Afro Political Consultant and Communications recommend that all Rwandese, they should support General Kayumba Nyamwasa, Rudasingwa, and others to lead the country. With which party? With the only party, Rwanda National Congress. What is the meaning of Congress? National Congress means when people come together for a certain dialogue, they discuss different issues, they agree, they go in the Congress. The Berlin Congress, 1885, which divided Africa. The Paris Treaty Conference, which discusses about the self-determination. Paris Treaty Conference, Paris Conference, which designed the President Woodrow Wilson said that in this conference we need self-determination. In Paris Conference, that was the Congress. There are very few Congress. South African Congress, Mandela said we need democracy, equality, no majority rule for black, no majority rule for white. In the context of Rwanda, National Congress Party, members of National Congress Party believe that they need to transform Rwanda, no majority Tutsi rule, no Hutu majority rule in the country, but equal. Afro, this is what we fight for in Africa. We don't want tribalism. We need people to agree one another. Majority rule on when they agree. So Afro believe that Rwanda National Congress Party, a party which is in South Africa today, is the only party that is true democracy in Rwanda. RPF, it is a party, but this party, it was a liberation movement. It was an army. President Kagame don't have a political party in Rwanda. He's using the army to rule the country. This is the difference. He used the party, I mean the military, and he changed it into a political party. A military should be defending the country. They are non-partisan in politics. He used the military and he changed it into RPF. Museveni, he don't have a political party. He used the NRM, which was National Resistance Movement, a liberation fighter, and then he changed it into what? A political party. These are tyrants. We need the political parties. In South Africa, Nelson Mandela created Mkoto Wesizwe as a movement to fight for to defend the democracy. These were army movement for soldiers. It is there defending the government. Then they have African National ANC, African National Congress. This is what we have. RPF should be an army commanded by President Kagame, and then Rwanda National Congress should be a political party with Kayumba Nyamwasa as the president. This is what we have, and we know we are going to get it. Listen to what Martin Luther said.
So we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow.
We face the difficulties today and tomorrow.
I still have a dream.
I have a dream.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
The dream deeply rooted in the Rwandan dream. I have a dream.
One day, this nation will rise up.
The nation of Rwanda will rise up.
The true meaning of its creed.
The true meaning.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
As we hold these
as
self-evident. That was Martin Luther King. He has warned that Rwanda, there is a dream in Rwanda that one day Rwandese, they will have a true government. One day Rwanda, they will rise and create a true government with a single party, military, partisan, non-partisan. Listen, Martin Luther also saying this message through Nyamwasa and RNC, Rwanda National Congress. Listen.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they have committed themselves to that over that.
doesn't understand Kayumba Nyamwasha, unprivileged, some unprivileged people, there are privileged people in Rwanda and unprivileged and privileged people in Rwanda. Those
but somewhere I read,
but somewhere they are
of the freedom of assembly.
Freedom.
Somewhere I read
Some
of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
So that is the message from Martin Luther. He sent that message to President Kagame, and the message is through Kayumba Nyamwasha, President of Rwanda National Congress. So right now we are not going to spend time here. We are going direct to what is a party. What is a party? What is a political party? Political party, a group of people, a group, gathering of people with the same ideology, political ideology, mentally, physically, appearance. This is a political party. Group of people, same ideology, political ideas, to change the country, to take over the government, to change or to present in the government. They can be communist, they can be Democrat, but you know, in communist, they don't have parties. Only single party take over power. Like Pol Pot, he was a communist in Cambodia. Mao Zedong, he was a communist. Kim Jong, Mao Zedong was the president of China, was a communist. Kim Jong, he ruled in North Korea for 44 years. Blaise Compaoré is a communist. Yeah, I'm talking about communist leaders. Muammar Gaddafi was a communist. Paul Kagame is an autocrat, very similar to communist. He using a communist style. He's not a democrat. He's developing the country like China, but he's a communist. Paul Kagame is a communist. I repeat this. He's not a democrat. Museveni, he's a communist. He's not a democrat. These two leaders I'm talking about, they are like women who they married the other side and also they married another man. They married to the Western democracy and also they marry what? To the communist. They organize elections, but they rule through communist style. They are not what? Afro political consultant, director, field marshal, emperor of African leaders, Yassini, here in my studio. Vancouver, British Columbia, North America, Canada, my headquarters. Today we are talking about Rwanda National Congress. Let us leave that side. We are talking about Rwanda National Congress. It is a party which was created in South Africa as a Rwanda new political party, largest party to bring democracy and transform the country from communism style of governance to pure democracy like a milk, which there is no water. This is what we call RNC. One of the founders was the late Karegeya. You know, he was killed, Patrick Karegeya. And who killed him? The government of Rwanda. They had agents. His friend betrayed him. We always say that true. And then the second person among the forerunners of the party, there is General Kayumba Nyamwasha. There is Rudasingwa and many others. So Gassan and many others. So what is the meaning of this party? Who listen to this program? Who view me in the screen right now? Politician, political scientist. I'm not a politician, I'm a political scientist. Politics without anything apart pure water, pure milk. Political scientist. We always need facts, political scientist. Facts, we don't need opinion. We do survey, research, and then we say, how likely this situation can cause this problem? This is how we think, political scientists. So today I'm showing you the truth. I've said RPF in Rwanda, it is a military organization which was transformed into a party. As you can see Kim Jong, as you can see Russia, as you can see China, as you can see North Korea, Kim Jong too, Mao Zedong. Those are the government which we have today. RPF, NRM. But they are allies to the West, showing elections as means of democracy, but these are lies, the truth inside. We are going back to Rwanda National Congress. We call it Pathway to Peaceful Change. Pathway, Rwanda National Congress, Pathway to Peaceful Change. Slowly maneuvering, and then you create peace without war. This is what Rwigema wanted. Slowly maneuver the country, you take over power, you create peace and justice, democracy, human rights. This is what we call Rwanda National Congress ideology. Declaration of core values, goals, and an agenda for new Rwanda. This is the president what he's saying. The president of the party, Rwanda National Congress, saying that the declaration of core values, goals, and an agenda for a new Rwanda. The Rwanda which you have today, it is a Rwanda mixed with the tyrants who showing the world that they are Democrats, but they are communist. They are Marxist leaders. If you are a democratic country, go and do research. Come and compete with me here at the table. Prove me, is Rwanda a democratic country? There is a development we see, but democracy and development, where there is democracy, there must be development. But the development we see, it is a communist style. Rwanda pathway, core value. What do we believe in? We are going to give you the introduction of Rwanda National Congress today. The need to profound political reform in Rwanda. Our core value, our vision, our goals, the 13 strategies. Rwanda National Congress has 13 strategies. Kagame has 250 strategies, but he never even finished. Number one, he failed. Number one is democracy, not road construction. You need with the first needs of the people. Need equality between Hutu and Tutsi. Those things are not there in Rwanda. You need a fair justice for Gacaca. You need a fair justice for local institutions. This is democracy. Parliament is independent. Police is independent. The army is independent. Civil courts, they are independent. But tell me, who governs all of these institutions in Rwanda? President Kagame, single man. If you are army officer in Rwanda, tell me, can you speak as American, as Canadian? They do. As British, they do. Tell me. We are going. Objective. Our objective. We are going to talk about our objective, our 13 strategy. Number one, strategy number one for Rwanda National Congress. Mobilizing the people of Rwanda to united in the struggle against dictatorship. This is strategy number one, to mobilize all Rwandese, whether in Mexico, whether in Russia, whether in Uganda, whether in Cape Town, whether in Accra, Ghana, whether in United States, Canada, to mobilize all Rwandese to stand against a new dictatorship, President Paul Kagame. We got who succeeded, Habyarimana. We fought dictators, we went back into dictatorship. We learned nothing from the old order, and we regret nothing from the new system. This was a French philosopher who said in the old system during the revolution they learned nothing, and the new government which came to power, they realized they regret nothing. All the same, putting in a new wine in an old bottle. This is the system which is in Rwanda today. Put ogushira enzoga munozenye mu icupa irashaje. Kinyarwanda. Principle number 2 of Rwanda National Congress. Leaders in South Africa and everywhere, in Canada here, they believe that the need for a transitional government, transparency, government which is moving here and there. You transfer power, should move from one president, you go to another. But not power from a single man like a President Kagame. Lulu two terms in office as the constitution say. Give power to Kayumba Nyamwasha. Give power Mushikwabo. Give power to Rosa Kabuye. Give power to who? Kaibanda. Give power to who? Ngabire Omhoza. All these are professionals, leaders, lawyers. Ngabire Omhoza is a lawyer profession. Do you think he cannot run a country? This is what we call justice. No majority rule for Hutu, no majority rule for Twa, no majority rule for Twa. Okay, no majority rule for Tutsi. This is what our party came to do. Number three, Rwanda National Congress believe that imperative for national dialogue. Anything that happen in the country should be under the table, on the table, not under the table. President Kagame, when there is a problem in Rwanda, just put it under the table. You just call a few people like General Ziza, you discuss things in secret. You decide on the majority of Rwandese who brought you in power. That is wrong. We need a government whereby everything should be transitional, imperative national dialogue, everything. Number 4, strategy to take a power. Strategy. Number 4, necessity of reform of the state. The necessity of reform of the state, to reform the country. People, RPF members, Rwandese who went to fight into the war, their objective was to reform the country. Majority Hutu and Tutsi to sit on the same table, to rule, to decide as a mother, single father. But today, if you look at the system of Rwanda, what you show in the world, outside the world, it is what you have decided under the table in a caucus. RPF caucus decide for the whole population. This is wrong. Necessity to reform the state. We need to reform this system. We are still under the system of Habyarimana, but ruled by a dictator. We are still ruled by the system of Kayibanda, but under a new dictator. We need to set up a new government for the people of Rwanda to elect their own leaders. This is what our slogan under RNC, Rwanda National Congress. When we come to power in 2016, this is what we promise you. Fifth, establishing a constitutional and legal framework that advances freedom of the democracy. Today, if you look at the constitution of Rwanda, which is running the country today, President Kagame, he destroyed the constitution of Habyarimana. But today, the constitution which is in Rwanda, it is just personal constitution written by, like what was written by Milton Obote, what you call a pigeonhole constitution. The constitution written by a single man and include what he need by himself. You are here at Afro Political Consultant and Communications, the eye watch of Africa. We are non-partisan in politics, but we bring the truth. You disseminate the message, we answer the question. Number 6, we need fifth, establishing constitution of the country. a new framework for a new constitution. Freedom, we invite all Hutu, they bring their grievances, their need. Tutsi, their needs. Twa, their needs. All, and we bring we construct a new constitution of the country, Rwanda. This will be a new country like Rwanda, to look like Americans, Canadian, British, France. We will be satisfied. We will not be satisfied in Rwanda if there is no freedom, democracy, human rights for the people. We members of Rwanda National Congress, we believe that is our sugar, our water to drink, our tea, morning tea. Democracy, freedom will be our objective. Reform of security sector. The police, the way is running the country, brutal. Military officers, brutal, they are killing people. The investigators, external security and internal security organization, they needed to be reformed to be non-partisan in politics. I don't need to add on anything about that. We need a government soldiers that is a private sector from the government. Don't need them to vote, to put dirty hands into politics, in elections, as it is today in RPF government. And we are very sure we shall attain these strategies. Number 7, opening space for political participation and good governance. This is a new point. Opening space for political participation and good governance. Everyone should be involved into politics, free to talk about the government, free to express your feelings towards the government services, new health care, road construction, schools, markets, everything, people's right to talk about politics. In Rwanda today, to talk about politics, it is like committing suicide. We did investigation. We asked several people, why don't you involve into politics? When you talk about politics, someone closes Facebook. We ask people, how is the election is in Rwanda? If you are in Facebook, that person is going to close the Facebook. You say, Facebook, if you ask in Rwanda what is about in politics, someone just said, and put their padlock. We don't need this. We have come to reform. We are reformers. We are under the new system of Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, McDonald in Canada. Those are the people founders of democracy. People, Westerners, they're enjoying. This is what we need. No difference between a black man and a white man. What is another strategy for Rwanda National Congress? Said opening space, participation in politics, free and good governance. President Kagame always talk about good governance. And even he told President Kabila that M23 they are fighting because of poor governance. What do you mean good governance? When people make a decision in the government and the government deliver, that is good governance. When a leader promises what is going to do and the masses promise what they are going to deliver to compliance, that is good governance. There is no good governance for a monopoly government. It is like a tyranny. Rwanda National Congress came to conceptualize, to change this system, not to conceptualize the constitution as the President Kagame did, but they have come to reconstruct it, to reform. If we miss these reformers, we are left out of the 2020 vision. We need the reformers like these people to be behind us. Kayumba Nyamwasha, Karegia, he's dead, but his ghost will be with us. Wejema will be with us. Wejema's family, they will be with us. Rwandese in group, Rudasingwa and others, they are with us. Rwandese in exile, Rwandese in refugee camp, they are with the Rwanda National Congress. That's why I've said is the largest party, the only party which is online. We are continuing. Number 7 finished. Number 8, adoption of consortiationalism as Rwanda's form of organization of political governance. adoption of consociationism as Rwanda's form of organization of political governance. So if you listen the strategies of this party, it goes to the grassroots, down to the villager, and then to the top. They look power from the village, downstairs, till to the top. Not the power from top to the bottom. President Kagame just look power. If you look power at the top only, you are exploiting the masses, the demos which have power. Rwanda National Congress said that no, we needed to change a new system, reform a new system. Economic empowerment and development. Someone was asking me, you can't lie to me. Someone was asking that, can the RNC be able to change the economy of Rwanda from poverty, which you have today, with living under $1 to the whole bread basket of money? Economic empowerment and development. This is your party. Do not ask me tomorrow if you miss the party. This is your reformers. The Western reform of democracy, it is like getting a new bread, fresh bread. Rwanda National Congress is a fresh bread which came to change what happened in Rwanda during the genocide, to create a new democracy like Canadian, new democracy like Americans, new democracy like British, new democracy like liberals, new democracy like the conservatives, democracy for the liberals, democracy for Republicans, democracy for Democratic Party of United States, the Liberal Party, based on African style. That's why they are using Afro political consultant and communication strategist to bring a message to you Rwandese. Abanyarwanda mwese ndabyibusa ko ishaka ryanyu Rwanda National Congress ryahageze imbere yanyu, na akazi kanyu kuritora murishire mu butegetsi mu 2016. Rifate igihugu cyangwa 2020, rifate igihugu, rifate ubutegetsi, rihindura ubuzima bw'abanyarwanda, gahindura miryango. Rwanda National Congress, the only party. Injingo yindi ye 10 na reason na strategy number 10, truth telling, justice and memory. Ukuvugisha ukuri mu gacaca, ukwemeza ko ibyabaye muri genocide nk'ukuntu byari bimeze, no gufata umwanzuro hatari injustice, hatari kuvuga ngo runaka kamu okugambanira abandi. Apana, tushaka igihugu politiki y'urukundo, gukundana abantu bose, tuvuge rimwe, tuvugisha ukuri. We need to speak the truth. What happened in the genocide? Who caused the Rwanda National Liberation War? What happened in the genocide? Who shot the aeroplane? Who should be punished for the problem of Rwanda? But not to pinpoint in one person. There is no putting the Hutu in jail and leave the truth outside. If there is a true information, anybody who is accused, bring it to justice. This is what we believe in. Mandela, he divorced his wife. He accused his wife even in committing, involving into torture during apartheid. She divorced him. Would not need to say Janet accuse the people in Rwanda, committed crime in Rwanda, and President Kagame bring something, you cover her. Like a chicken on the egg. No. Hen on egg. No. We need the truth, open truth, based on political principles. Yassini, director, founder of Afro Political Consultant and Communication, the iWatch, the Human Watch, the savior, the reformer of Africa. I'm speaking on behalf of Rwanda National Congress, the biggest party which is in South Africa, party which is in Canada, party which is based in everywhere. It is your party which is aspiring to change Rwanda into a new country based on the principles of Rwanda National Congress before the genocide and after. Then what was the vision for these people to change the country. They are under RNC. Truth number 12, strategy number 12, repatriation and reintegration of refugees. I am a refugee in exile. Many Rwandese refugees, they are in Congo, they are in Belgium, they are in Canada, they are in the United States, they are in South Africa, they are in Malawi, Tanzania, everywhere. When the Israeli got independence in 1948, the first core value principle for the Israeli was to return all refugees across the world. They pick them one by one. Even they have black Jewish. They are Israeli. Rwanda National Congress believe that the time we came to power, we are going to collect refugees in exile, like you collect stones everywhere. You return back home, we take your land, you take your properties you left there in abundance. We don't want to grab your properties. We want you to come back home free and leave the country free. Today, you are not allowed to leave Rwanda if you return back. But even if you are in Rwanda, you are not allowed to leave the country. But even those who are in refugee camp, they fear to return back in the country because they are not allowed to express their views politically. If you take my views, my rights politically, you are killing me. Suicide. We need a government where people talk to the president as a friend, as a brother, not as an emperor. That's why I'm an emperor. I am the only emperor, not as a dictator. I am only that. I'm the one to command that you should be a dictator, but not you to decide. This is New Africa. We want Sudan, South Sudan, a new country. 12. Strategy number 12. Unity. Reconciliation and collective healings. Let me start with the number 3. What is the meaning of reconciliation? There is mediation, reconciliation. In Rwanda, after genocide, the government created what you call mediation. Peace and mediation, but no reconciliation. I repeat this. If you are a professor, you are a researcher of peace and reconciliation, talk to me face to face. Does Rwanda reconciled with the Hutu? This is what I want to answer. Anybody from the United Nations, from International Criminal Court, I want you to answer me. Did the President Kagame reconciled with the Hutu people after genocide? Is the reconciliation which is in Rwanda the same as in Nelson Mandela after apartheid? How can you reconcile with somebody and you put Mary Omhoza in jail for 30 years? Because he said that how many Hutu died in genocide. She didn't say Hutu they didn't kill Tutsi. She said how many Hutu died. Because a war, a liberation war, Rwanda, it had a liberation war. And Rwanda had a genocide. How many Tutsi died in a liberation war? How many Hutu died in a liberation war in 1990 before genocide? And how many Hutu died in the genocide? Those who were supporting the Tutsi. Those who rejected the genocide, how many were killed by fellow Hutu? Nothing. We don't say Tutsi killed the Hutu, but how many Hutu who died killed by fellow Hutu during the genocide because they didn't support their ideology? How many? Then what happened after peace and reconciliation? How many Hutu were pardoned free, and they are free, and they are in the government? No one. President Kagame has constructed the image of Hutu people as the enemy of the state. Created the tension between Hutu and Tutsi, not to join, and then you rule. We want a country which is unity, free. We should forget what happened. Friendship. This is what it means reconciliation. We forget everybody. We heal what happened, and then we start fresh. If you break up with your wife, she go home, you need to bring her back, you forget the past. If you bring them, no reconciliation. President Kagame, we need a new reconciliation. If not that, this is the core principle of Rwanda National Congress. To call all exiles to come back home free. Rusesabagina should speak free. Ngabire should speak free. Kayumba should speak free. And other Rwandese, they should speak free in the government. And then you answer, you hear what they say, then you get the right points. You call them, you build the country. Democracy, development. As long as you can't do that, we are going back. We learned nothing, we realized nothing, we regret nothing. Yeah. Rwanda National Congress believe in true reconciliation. Unity, all Rwandese, no Hutu, no Tutsi, but one person, as Mandela said. Collective healing, we all agree together that it happened, but now, what is the future? A progressive foreign policy based on a common value and interest, adherence in international law, and mutual respect between states. A progressive foreign policy or foreign policy based on a common value or based on common values. A progressive foreign policy based on common values and interests, adherence to international law, mutual respect between states. This is a very, very strong message. Listeners and view of my program, I'm not joking today, but I'm sending a direct message. I want you to feel. How do you feel when Rwanda using rebels M23 to kill Congolese? Is that a neighborhood? The Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Does President Kagame love Congolese? Kagame was killed by Rwandan escorts. Kabila Senior. His escort were Rwandese. When he said he go back home, they shoot him. That is one of unsolved crimes in Africa. We need foreign policy like American foreign policy, based on friends, British foreign policy, Russian foreign policy, Chinese foreign policy. They are good. No intervention, killing. Maybe the problem is communist style. Smelling bad. Communism, Marxism, smelling bad. That hand. And this is what is in Rwanda, the mental ideology of conflict, intervention into other countries' affairs. Congolese, since Rwanda Kagame came to power, they have never been free. When will they be free? Rwandese, Ugandans lost their soldiers killed by Rwanda. Burundi is not free. It's like having Kagame in power. They are like having 200 kilograms on your head. We need a friendship, a government which respects Tanzania, President Kikwete. Your Excellency, President Kagame, you said that Kikwete is an idiot. Does it true? Is it justifiable, morally? Does it morally acceptable to call President of Tanzania an idiot? Kagame is an Kayumba Nyamwasha is an idiot. Karegeya is an idiot. Museveni is nothing. Riek Machar is stupid. Everyone. No? Hitler was a very strong man. Napoleon was a very strong man. But they are no longer exist. However, they also had friends. They listened to their people. That's why this is our final conclusion, our point. A progressive foreign policy based on a common values, interests, adherence to international law, respecting international law, no stealing minerals in Congo, mutual respect of states. If we trust us, we are coming to power to serve you better. You can see our conclusion by giving us everything. Maybe to give you overall introduction about Rwanda National Congress, all human beings are entitled to an inherent right to live in peace, freedom, and fair use of and access to resources which the nation are endowed to the promotion of the well-being of the citizens of that nation. Our Rwanda National Congress believes in this principle. Well-being of our citizens. Every person entitled to the rights promulgated into the Universal Declaration of Rights, Human Rights, the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights. You have heard, that's why it started with Martin Luther King. The International Convention on the Proxy ensure the freedom of thought. The freedom of thought to think what my government deliver, and I express my feeling. These things are not there in Rwanda. You don't allow it to say, to speak. You just need to see. As a French philosopher one day said, them in windows watching the big powers liberating. Association and religion of all humankind to ensure the principal rationale of the existence of government is to facilitate the realization of these fundamental, inalienable rights for all citizens. All citizens. Rwanda National Congress is our core value. Rwanda is an ancient nation. No doubt everyone that exercised the control over Rwanda state during the course of our country's long history, lively, the credited of some development that have been of benefit of its citizens. On the balance, however, virtually every Rwandan government has historically preyed on the citizenry and has expressed realization and enjoyment of inherent and universal rights for those whom they governed. Our country's history, our people have known profound opportunity to fully realize their aspiration for freedom. They don't have freedom, Rwandese. Security, no. This is a tighter security which is put there to secure, to protect the people. There is no prosperity. Rwanda was one of the first countries in the post-independence Africa to become a one-party state. One-party state. Kayibanda ruled the country under one-party state. Habyarimana came under one-party state. And then, autocratic government. Today we have what we call anocracy. Anocracy, absolute monarchy, powerful of the president. Today we have a country which is governed by a single man, a dictator. This is what we mean if we talk about that Kagame is a dictator. Those who don't understand us today, we have come to understand you. Rwanda has long remained the world's poorest nation, and the gap between the rich and the poor is very strange. Very wider. We need to cover these problems. Rwanda National Congress has come to cover, to eliminate poverty alleviation. In fact, to eliminate poverty from the ground. I don't say poverty alleviation, no. Eliminate poverty by creating employment, changing the mindset of our citizens to become job creators rather than job seekers. Rwanda National Congress. The founder, what do they think? As I told you that the founders of Rwanda National Congress, they are reformers, hold the unshakable view that Rwanda belongs to all Rwandese. This is a message from Karegeya. This is a message from His Excellency, President Kayumba Nyamwasha. He said that Rwanda belongs to all Rwandese. Hutu, Tutsi, Twa equally, and free to foreigners to enter. We also share the affirm belief that Rwanda society has not learned the necessary lessons from the traumatic events of the country recent past that the threat of new and deadly conflict looms large over the country's future. That only profound change root in popular aspiration for freedom, the only change root in freedom, peace, material well-being can avert the looming crisis. Looming crisis today. Rwanda is in a looming crisis. But when you create freedom, prosperity, peace, material well-being, health care, and other things, this problem will be solved. And you will not solve these problems unless you support Rwanda National Congress to come to power. And that is the current ruling government, Kagame's government, far from the working to address the issues that so severely threaten the very survival of the nation. Adamantly refuses to acknowledge the necessity of the fundamental political change of the country. Adamantly failed the RPF government, President Kagame, dictator, failed to acknowledge the most salient features, the problems that affecting Rwandese, by showing the development which is out of what is democracy mean. The things which is happening in Rwanda today are individual ideas, what he's thinking and do by force, but not what the people decided. Rwanda National Congress, we have come to create something new, to change your life. I don't want to be in exile. Afro-political consultant and communication strategist Yassine Chiragamisago. I'm the founding member, president. We give you the clue how to come to power. We change your image, the image branding. We support you, campaign strategy, taking the government techniques without fighting but maneuvering. This is a weapon directed to President Kagame. This is what we mean, Rwanda National Congress. This is what we believe in. This is our heart. This is interim policy document adopted at the meeting for the founders of Rwanda National Congress. These are not my ideas. I'm a professional communicator to deliver a message like a prophet. But there is a chief behind me. I'm a professional political doctor, engineer. If you don't believe me, you are losing Rwanda. The government which is in power, it is a puppet prophet. Puppet prophets. They are communist style, Marxist, people who believe in fighting and killing, no religion. They are not religious believers. Who can tell me which church does Kagame go to? People, intolerant people, tyrants. People who go to other countries to fight. We need a government for people to decide themselves. 2 terms in office, Kayumba Nyamwasha leave to power, he hand over power back as Mandela did. I think he's a Mandela successor in Africa. If you lose Rwandese, he's a prophet, came to save the Messiah of Rwanda, Kayumba Nyamwasha. This interim policy, it is a policy, this is a document which was adopted in December 2010, December 11th. Underscores there, these are some of the points I want to mention. Factors that make a reform of Rwanda political and economic system imperative. That is underscore number 1. Factors that make a reform of Rwanda's political and economic system imperatives. Have you ever heard about them? Have you ever heard President Kagame came up to address the factors he's using to reform the political system of Rwanda? Mumbwire ko niba mwumvise umugabo Kagame ari kuvuga ko izi ngingo hasi nizo ngiye gukoresha uguhindura igihugu cyanyu politiki y'igihugu. Yazanye politiki ari gukoresha ni aba Mao Zedong, abashinwa, y'ukwica, y'ukwirukana abandi mu gihugu, y'ukurungikira abandi abamissionere kubica. We don't need that. I'm here. Anybody, you are free to come and take my life. I don't care. But tomorrow you will follow me. Vision of the future of our motherland that the RNC espouses the vision. Rwanda National Congress has a new vision in the envelope. Want to open for you. Value that must underpin Rwanda's political transformation. The value, we have them that are going to change. We have values that we are going to follow to change our political system. Goals and objectives of the struggle for which the RNC seek to mobilize the people.